I hate interviewing. I'm terrible at it. But the good news is that you can actually prepare and still be successful no matter how much you suck at it. Let me walk you through the questions that you will be guaranteed to be asked in every hiring process and give you a couple of tips for how you can answer them. First, you are always going to have to explain why you want to work at that company, and you are going to want to connect that answer to the company's mission and the company's product. Two, you are going to be asked why you want that role, and your reasons need to be around goals and responsibilities and how that position fits into your larger career trajectory. Y'all, this is not the time to talk about the compensation, the benefits, that it's remote. Don't be talking about what you're going to get out of it. Focus on the impact that you want to have. Next, they want to know what you're looking for in your next role, because based on what you talk about, that will help them see if the role that they have is actually aligned. This is where you want to talk about the culture that you want to be a part of, the kind of impact you want to have, the kind of goals you want to achieve, the kind of product you want to work with, the skills that you want to grow in. And please make sure that the things that you're highlighting actually align with what would be true in that role. For example, if you're interviewing with a startup that's kind of scrappy, you don't want to be talking about how you're leaving your last role because it was too ambiguous and things were changing too often and you're just looking to have a clear playbook that you can execute. That startup likely does not have a playbook, and so that is going to be a flag for them that they would not be a good fit for you. Now, they are likely to ask you where you see yourself in 3 to 5 years. This is because they're trying to figure out if you're someone who's using it as a stepping stone or not. First, make sure to reiterate that you want to stay in that role and have a strong impact for a couple of years before you think about anything else. But assuming things are going well, you might be interested in moving into leadership or being promoted. It's fine to talk about bigger career aspirations or even wanting to start a startup or something like that, but make sure that you are clear that you want the role that you are interviewing for. You want to stay in that role for at least 2 years. And finally, you are often going to be asked to walk through your resume. They're often going to want to hear some of the big highlights from each job that you've had, as well as the reasons for the transitions. What they're looking for there are trends. If you left one job because of a crappy manager, that's a one-off thing. If you left 3 jobs because of crappy managers, they're going to start thinking you're the problem. They're going to be looking for if you're overly negative, if you're critical about every workplace, or if you generally were able to leave on a high note with good relationships. Highlight big successes where you exceeded goals, where you've been promoted. You want to make sure that what they see is this upward trajectory versus someone that's kind of stagnant, that's constantly struggling, that's constantly having issues. So I hope this helps you prepare, and let me get out of the way so that you can screenshot this.